Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. Today we are going to start chapter 638 of I Have 90 Billion Licking Gold Coins. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. Chapter 1100, 2,000 times faster. Qian Yuan looked completely dumbfounded. He was like a village ant stepping into a royal palace for the first time, wide-eyed and amazed at everything around him. As he marveled at the strange, mysterious realm of the dark universe, a vague sense of enlightenment began to form within him. It felt like his understanding of space had risen to an entirely new level. Turns out, objects didn't have to move faster than light to enter the dark universe. In fact, they didn't need to exceed the speed of light at all. All it took was a powerful particle collider. At the exact moment the particles burst forth, if a localized wave in space was created, it could pierce through dimensions with ease. Just like how a specific sound frequency can shatter a glass. Space, too, might have similar properties. A concept called resonance. If you match the right kind of energy frequency, could it actually resonate with space itself and allow it to break open? Could this be the true principle behind teleportation? And if that's the case, then was the even more powerful stellar shift just a higher-tier version of the same principle? Qian Yuan's thoughts spiraled endlessly. Of course, knowing the theory was one thing. Using it in practice was an entirely different matter. Just then, Bai 11 suddenly noticed the earthling behind her had gone quiet, like he was deep in thought. His figure had started to flicker, becoming semi-transparent. And around him, faint waves of spatial energy began to ripple. Wait, did he just have a sudden realization? Is that spatial law energy? What the? He only watched the starship travel through the dark universe once, and he's already starting to comprehend the laws of space. Bai was shocked, absolutely speechless. Back when she first started training in space laws, she had spent 2 full centuries studying the weak points in dimensional space, watching the folds and ripples over 100,000 times before she barely managed to grasp the basics of teleportation. And that was with guidance from a mentor. Even then, she was considered exceptionally talented. But Qian Yuan? He just looked once, from inside the ship, where you couldn't even feel the spatial shifts clearly. And he somehow reached enlightenment? What kind of monster talent was this? Terrified something might go wrong, Bai didn't hesitate. She slapped him awake. Realization opportunities like this were once in a lifetime. But right now, they were inside the dark universe. If Qian Yuan accidentally triggered a teleportation skill, he could vanish into the void. And once that happened, his chances of survival would be less than 1 in 10,000. Did this guy have a death wish? Miss Bai, is something wrong? Qian Yuan asked calmly. Don't try to comprehend space-related powers while inside the dark universe. It's extremely dangerous. Do you understand? Oh, I see. I'll be more careful next time. Qian Yuan nodded earnestly. At that moment, a system prompt echoed in his mind. Ding. Congratulations. Host has comprehended the first level of spatial law. Progress, 1%. Spend 1,000 enhancement points to re-enter the enlightenment state. 1,000 points? That's kinda expensive. I'll save it for later. Then he opened his system panel. Name, Qian Yuan. Age, 26. Height, 186 centimeters. Weight, 82 kilograms. Strength, 958,120. Constitution, 995,520. Spirit, 957,590. Agility, 956,250. Average human stat, 10. Status, bottleneck. Level, Tier 20. Can control a 900-kilometer radius of heaven and earth power. Remaining lifespan, 52 years. Fire talent, 9,800. Above 10,000 allows mastery of advanced fire control. Laws, spatial law, level 1, 1% progress. Enhancement points, 30/30. Skills, click to view list. Due to his rapid breakthroughs to Tier 20, Qian Yuan's natural lifespan had increased by 900 years. But with his 200x time acceleration effect, that got burned away quickly. Only 45 years remained. Add his original 10 years, subtract 3, and now he had 52 years left. By normal standards, he should have been able to live over 10,000 years. Miss Bai, thank you so much for the warning. If not for you, I might have unknowingly put myself in danger. Once we reach that advanced civilization planet, I promise to repay your kindness. I never go back on my word. Fine. You can use my personal training chamber for the next few months, Baiyu replied. I'll even provide you with top-tier energy crystals, for free. Consider it compensation. She looked at the silly young man before her and couldn't help but sigh. He had no idea what kind of heavenly opportunity he'd just lost. To interrupt someone's enlightenment was almost as bad as killing their parents. No exaggeration. In fact, some would say it was worse. Opportunities to comprehend universal laws, especially spatial laws, were incredibly rare. Even elite spacefaring cultivators might go thousands of years without encountering such a moment. Once that feeling passed, it would almost never return. Though she had acted out of genuine concern for his safety, Baiyu still felt a little guilty. She wanted to make it up to him. Thank you so much, Miss Baiyu. Then I won't hold back. Chen Yuan grinned. Don't worry, I don't like owing people favors. The kindness you've shown me today, I'll repay it tenfold, 100-fold if I have to. Baiyu's favorability plus 10. Current favorability, 21 points. This pure-hearted guy just lost an incredibly rare enlightenment opportunity. And he's still thanking her? If someone sold him, he'd probably help count the money. Inside the training chamber were over 1,000 premium energy crystals, embedded into a large formation. The energy inside these crystals was insanely dense. Even Baiyu herself could only absorb one per year. But she was giving Chen Yuan 3 full months inside. In truth, he probably couldn't even absorb 1/10 of a crystal's energy in that time. As Chen Yuan stepped into the chamber, a hush fell over the space. It was completely sealed off, shockingly spacious, and cut off from the outside world. The walls were forged from special metals that blocked mental probes and were incredibly sturdy. Even with all his strength, Chen Yuan couldn't damage them. Holy crap, the energy here is so pure, so intense, he gasped. He'd never cultivated with energy crystals before. He had never experienced anything this perfect. It was like a man wandering the desert for years, suddenly falling into the ocean. Before, he might go half a year without a single drop of spiritual rain. Now, he was soaked in energy. Chen Yuan immediately activated the third layer of the Qian Yuan energy guidance technique. He began absorbing like crazy. Inhale, absorb, pull, devour, faster, faster, faster. He was already a tier 20 cultivator. With 200x time acceleration and the advanced version of the Qian Yuan technique stacked together, his energy absorption speed surpassed Baiyu 11 by 2,000 times. Instantly, a wild energy storm erupted within the chamber. Chapter 11:01. Learning the Universal Language of the Universe. In the vast universe, even energy crystals vary in quality. They're generally divided into 4 grades: low, medium, high, and supreme. The quality determines the value. Based on Starcoin purchasing power, 100 Starcoins can buy 1 low-grade energy crystal, 1,000 Starcoins for a medium-grade one, 10,000 Starcoins for a high-grade crystal, and a whopping 100,000 Starcoins for 1 supreme-grade energy crystal. That meant Sister Baiyu was probably loaded. Her training room had over 1,000 supreme-grade crystals. That's a total value of 1 billion Starcoins. Obviously, cultivating with supreme-grade energy crystals not only speeds up progress, but also builds a more solid foundation. It saves time and even reduces the risk of going crazy from energy overload. Basically, all pros, no cons. Chen Yuan started absorbing wildly, with no restraint. Even if others had his speed, they would never dare to absorb like this. Their bodies simply wouldn't be able to take it. But Chen Yuan had a cheat. Whenever his body couldn't handle the strain, he just used 100 enhancement points to instantly repair himself. And just like that, he'd be back in peak condition. So no need to worry about exploding from overabsorption. Instead, it felt amazing. Absolutely thrilling. He hadn't felt this kind of improvement in over a year. His growth had hit a plateau a year ago. No matter how much cosmic energy he absorbed, his power just wouldn't increase. It was like pouring water into a bottle that's already full. Whatever you pour in just overflows out. But now something changed. He realized the energy he absorbed didn't completely vanish. The purest part of it was secretly flowing into a mysterious space within his own body. As the Qian Yuan guidance technique ran at full force, that space began to take shape. 2 months flew by, and that mysterious inner space was now fully formed. All the energy he couldn't store before now had a place to go. Qin Yuan's absorption rate suddenly skyrocketed again. Eventually, the energy inside that space condensed into a tiny star. In that instant, he felt his entire being evolve. His life form underwent a complete transformation. He had entered an entirely new level of existence. This is the 21st stage. This is the stellar tier. So this is how it feels. Ding. Congratulations. Host has successfully broken through to stage 21. Lifespan extended by 10,000 years. You've officially stepped into the stellar tier. Ding. Due to your evolution into a level 3 universe life form, the super enhancement virus can no longer harm you. It has been automatically eradicated. Current remaining lifespan, 20,270 years. Remaining enhancement points, 1,200. Hearing the system prompts, Qin Yuan suddenly had a bad feeling. Wait a second, system, I want to re-strengthen the super enhancement virus. Ding. No matter how much the gene virus is upgraded, it cannot harm a stellar tier being. As a level 3 universe life form, you've broken through all genetic and physical limits. A star never dies. Life never ends. What the hell? Qin Yuan almost spat blood. Without the stacking effects of the super enhancement virus, wouldn't his cultivation speed drop by 200 times? Sure, his lifespan was back to normal. But what use was that? Wait, my absorption speed hasn't dropped? It actually feels faster than before. That was unexpected. Ever since the inner space appeared, his cosmic energy absorption had maxed out. It was now several times faster than before. A total bonus surprise. But after a few days, all the energy crystals in the training room turned to dust. More than 1,000 supreme-grade crystals, completely drained. Now, Qin Yuan finally felt the drawback. His cultivation speed crashed. It dropped to less than 1,000th of what it was. So that's how it is. In the universe, the amount of free-floating energy is limited. Once you reach the stellar tier, you can drain everything in a few thousand kilometers almost instantly. At that point, even if you have 200x absorption speed, it's meaningless because there's not enough energy left to absorb. That's why, after reaching the stellar tier, it's not about how fast you cultivate, it's all about resources. All top-tier beings absorb fast, but the free energy floating in space just isn't enough to feed them. If you tried to level up with just free cosmic energy, it might take thousands of years to rise one stage. 3 months hadn't even passed. Qin Yuan had to stop cultivating. Without supreme-grade crystals, his speed was turtle level. After tasting the speed of rockets, going back to a snail's pace was straight-up torture. He figured it'd be better to use this time to do something else, like learning the universal language of the cosmos. He spent a full day studying the writing system of the universal language. Then he practiced pronunciation and speaking. What he found was, this language was harder than any Earth language by far, even harder than classical Chinese, 10 times harder, at least. Common Chinese characters? Around a few thousand. But the universal language? Over 50,000 commonly used symbols. Chinese has around 90,000 total characters. That's already the most of any Earth language. But the universal language? Over 10 million unique symbols. Most were obscure and rarely used. Even after 10+ days, Qin Yuan had only learned about 1 million of them. And this was with stellar-level brain power. For most people, learning 1 million symbols would be more than enough, since only about 50,000 were commonly used. By now, Qin Yuan's skill level could already be considered mastery. But he thought, if I'm going to learn a language, might as well go all the way. Still, he was too lazy to keep going manually. System, I want to enhance my universal language skills. Ding. Host has already learned 1,032,365 universal symbols. Consuming 100 enhancement points will allow you to master 1 million characters. To master all universal symbols, it would cost 900 million points. What the system? Are you kidding me? Looking at all those zeros, Qin Yuan was just stunned speechless. His face went completely blank. That's it for today's chapter recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest manga, manhwa, and manhwa recaps. Got thoughts on today's chapter? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on the story. See you in the next one. Until then, keep turning the pages.